What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDontWorkHereLady. Alright, this story's called
I'm a sailor, not a cashier. Hey guys, so this is my first post. If I could work on anything at all, your tips and suggestions would be much appreciated. Alright, so to start off, I'm a US Navy sailor, and because of COVID, we aren't supposed to go to restaurants or bars, etc. Places with large gatherings. So I decided I'd go to the store real quick for groceries and go back to the base because I had just gotten off duty. Now, I changed out of my uniform into my civilian clothes and got into my car and just drove normally to Walmart, to this place called the Fresh Market, which I hadn't been to or heard of before. It's expensive. Now, here's where it picks up. I'm going to be me, Whack Bimbo will be Warner Brothers, and then Warner Brothers' husband will be Warner Brothers' husband. And Cool Manager will be Cool Manager. Hey, Zach, I'm not able to read anymore.
Okay, so I walked into the store in my work boots, which were very dirty and had a lot of cuts and missing pieces of leather, etc. off the boots, so they're rough but sturdy. I had black slacks because I was just getting groceries and then threw them on. I had a turtleneck on underneath it and my hoodie over that with aviation machinist mate on the back of my hoodie. The front had a propeller and wings, which is our rate. Rate is what we call a job symbol. I'm looking for coffee and filters to go along with a gift for my girlfriend when I get back to base to make her day a little better. I also need to get milk and basic stuff for meals. At this moment, I'm in the milker freezer. Is this supposed to be dialogue? At this moment, I'm in the milker freezer area of the store looking at all the different milks that I never knew existed and looking around at foreign foods and candies that are imported. Cool stuff. Then a lady who was looking at something behind me, I think, walked over as she was much shorter than I am. Probably around 5'2". I happen to be 6 feet, and with my boots, that just added on. Whoa, big guy. Whoa, chill out. How's the weather up there?
Could you grab me the green candy and then that coffee on the left?
So I grab it and give it to her and think nothing of it because she just seemed nice and I was helping to grab something. Then I had to go back to get the milk I chose. I grab coffee and then filters too, and I have a basket. I'm not wearing a giant green apron or khaki pants or a shirt with Fresh Market on it, so I'm not in uniform, military or Fresh Market standard. Now I'm standing in line because only one register was open and there was only 2 people in front of me. Then the lady I helped came up behind it and cleared her throat as to get my attention when I was on my phone, responding to my brother since he got his Christmas gift early and I'd want to see him open it since I won't be there to see him open it.
Why don't you go open the other register?
I'm not paying attention to her.
Excuse me? Hello? You may have gotten off, but you can still speed up this line. I have somewhere to be.
I'm just realizing she's talking to me as no one else is around us. Sorry? Oh, I don't work here, ma'am.
Well, you helped me earlier and you were moving things around earlier.
I had been looking at different milk and other items because it was all pretty cool and I had never seen such a diverse selection of anything in that amount for milk, coffee, bubble gum, or anything before. Oh yeah, I helped you grab the 2 items you got earlier, right?
Yeah, so why don't you help me again and go open that register?
So at this point, I was confused as to how she could have thought I worked there wearing nothing like the uniform there, and also wearing a few items that clearly stated I was in the military, including a belt buckle with my rate and a mask that literally has US Navy written on it. Sorry, I can't, ma'am. I don't work here. I didn't just get off. I'm here shopping for groceries. Then I raise my basket and try to act kind again by smiling under my mask, and then I turn back around.
I know you work here. I've seen you before. You have the exact same haircut as last month.
So I had noticed that a few guys there did have the same haircut, and I realized because I am only 19, I'm also the same same age as all the workers except one guy who ended up being the manager. Ma'am, I can assure you I don't. This is my first time being in the store. I'm not even from this state, and I'm in the US Navy. Then I point to my mask and my hoodie, my boots, and my belt buckle, and all of them have something to show that I definitely don't work at the fresh market, and I'm an enlisted man in the Navy.
I've seen you before and I know you work here. If you lie again, I would tell your manager. Your generation is so disrespectful and lazy, and I don't see how you maintain a job here, or any of you.
Now, I have respect for retail because I worked at CVS for almost 3 years when I was in high school until I was 17 and finally enlisted. Also, this lady was probably 23 at max. She looked younger than my girlfriend, but I think her height had something to do with it. Listen, lady, I'm trying to check out and leave. I don't work here and never have. I don't see what the issue is. Now, the man in front of me was very old and he had many items to purchase, so this was going to take a while, which was fine, but she was making it hell.
I'm not a lady, I'm a ma'am.
Good God!
I know you're not in the Navy because I come here every week and I've seen you before here in the past month. Now go open the register and check me out, or I'll get the manager because we're good friends and I can have him send you home for the rest of the week. Also, my husband is the general in the Navy, so what you're doing is disrespecting him and me because that's stolen valor.
Ma'am, I apologize, but I do not work here. Also, we do not have generals in the Navy. We have admirals.
Well, if you really wanted this, just know it's your fault for not doing your job.
She walks over to the man without an apron, and they turn to face away after she's done speaking, and then he walks over to speak to me. Sir, did you tell this woman you work here? No, sir. I've been telling her over and over I do not work here, and I never have. Well, I haven't seen you here before, and I have seen you working here before. Or she said she has seen you working here before, but she also says you're impersonating a Navy soldier? No, sir. I'm a Navy sailor, and she says her husband is a general, but we don't have generals in the Navy. We have admirals, like I told her, and yet she still goes on to say I need to check her out. Do you have military identification? This isn't to prove anything against you. I just want to make sure because we offer military discounts and using those to your benefit is a crime. So I take my CAC card out, which is also my military ID. A CAC is a common access card, by the way. Then he checks it for a second and flips it over and then hands it back. I apologize, sir. She just said you were too young to be in the military and you were just getting off work because you were helping her, and she said she wants to call the police for stolen valor, I think. She can call the police and I'll wait here. I haven't told her anything that would make her think I work here or that I'm not in the military. I just got off duty as well, so I'm free for the rest of the day. So the lady does call the police, and while we wait, the lady is explaining how she's gonna have me arrested and have her husband come and tell the police I'm faking because he can tell. So the police arrive after only 5 to 10 minutes and they're talking to me. I show them my CAC, and and the two talking to me were very nice and formal, plus one was in the army before he was a cop. Then the one talking to the Warner brothers comes over and told us she had her husband coming here to prove it, but they had no reason to stay or detain me, and if anything, have her removed for harassment towards me. Then the cop, who is ex-army, suggested I stay and talk to him because some wives feel entitled, and I should see who the officer is so I can ask them for their view and maybe talk to my chain of command if I have to. Then the police leave, and I'm there waiting for the manager, who probably felt very awkward, mainly because the Warner brothers was still expecting how the police must not know what a military ID looks like. Also, they just didn't arrest me because I wasn't in uniform, etc. Then her husband gets here. Boy. So, with the military in any branch, there is something called DEP, if you didn't know. Now, DEP is the Delayed Entry Program, which means you've signed a contract for a branch. However, you haven't left for boot camp and you're not technically any rank or in the military yet. You have your contract signed, but you can still get out if you complain enough.
Honey, babe, explain to this man why he should have this boy arrested.
I'm not a boy. boy. I'm just young. I'm 19. At 6 feet, I am pale, which might make me look younger. I don't know. And I have a high school kid's haircut.
Oh, so you're the guy impersonating a military service member.
I'm just a service member. Also, your wife told me you were a general in the Navy. This guy was wearing a brand new DEP shirt, by the way. So I was gonna tear him up when I could.
I am, yeah? So what's your rate and what's your rank?
I'm an AD, and I'm a third-class petty officer. Warner Brothers' husband is now looking a little different.
Oh, so you're an E nothing really. You don't look old enough to be one.
Sir, you realize being an admiral, you just violated UCMJ, correct? Also, sir, would you mind allowing me to see your CAC?
I didn't violate anything, and I don't have it with me.
Carrying your CAC is part of the uniform code, because if you have nothing with you, no clothes, no shoes, no anything, you'd better have your CAC. Well, sorry. Well, then you're going against the UCMJ because here's my CAC. Also, you say I'm too young, but you're like 22 or 23, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm not in uniform, and I'm a general in the Navy, not an admiral.
So at this point, I was obviously pissed off. Also, when someone like this is trying to tell me off and say I'm not in the Navy with no evidence, along with me having my own proof, then they decide to impersonate an admiral or any rank in the Navy, I'm gonna get angry or angrier. Listen, you're in the DEP program. I know the recruiters at your office. You're not an officer, and if you don't leave right now, I will go to your recruiting office with a picture of you from this store, and I will have you charged against the UCMJ for impersonating an officer, stolen valor, and also wasting my time and everyone else's here. Warner Brothers' husband and Warner Brothers look confused when Warner Brothers' husband tries to speak.
Well, I can't.
If you're in the DEP program, as someone who outranks you and is a superior, you're going to go to your recruiting office tomorrow, and I'm going to be there, and I will explain what happened to them with the police's proof, camera proof, the managers, and more. Then, Warner Brothers' husband leaves, and Warner Brothers stays, buys her things, and speaks to the manager, then leaves.
She told me I should fire you.
Oh my god. Also, I'm sorry you had to experience this, sir. Yeah, I think I'd want to be fired at this point. Also, it wasn't a big deal until she called the police. Her husband, however, is committing a crime doing that, though.
Well, if you need any of the footage or anything of that nature, I can get the police back.
Oh no, I just want him to waste his time. I don't have time to go yell at a DEP guy. Thank you, though. I freaking love this dude. Then I walk to the register, finally, after 2 hours, and the manager signs into the computer instead, and then lets me leave with like $70 worth of olives, coffee, filters, milk, etc., and my gift from my girlfriend, which is a giant candy cane and a weird chewy candy. Edit. This post has been up for only about 2 hours now, and I've already gotten quite a few comments. Also, I ended up visiting the recruiting office near the base, and I told the chief there and a friend of mine who was working there who just made first class, so she's probably gonna put him in his place. They knew exactly who I was talking about, and my friend is going to deal with him personally. Mainly because he has a beard and claims his religion makes it so he can't shave it because he believes in Thor and all that. The chief there also said they were thinking he wouldn't have a good time adapting as well, mainly because he's chosen to be a nuke. He was a private construction contractor, so I don't know how well that will end for him. Also, still shocks me that he claimed to be a general in the Navy. Out of every freaking branch, Navy. God. Wow, this was a tremendously fun story. It was also incredibly long, but I didn't even notice it. Usually, I start feeling it toward the middle of a super long story, but I didn't even... God, this guy is funny. Good job, OP. Freaking user J... Smith, Jadithy Smith, Smith. I don't know. Pick a easier name, man. And that Karen still didn't realize what was going on. After all of that, after everything that happened, she told the manager he should be fired. Oh my god, dude. Is that like a normal thing for someone to be that oblivious? Is that normal, or should she actually have help or receive help? Like, what? Alright, this story's called From Years Ago. Doorbells! I am reminded of this from a similar recent post. Cultured. I was in an orange home improvement store years ago. Wow, they have improvement stores specifically for orange homes. That is somewhat not racist. Before they went downhill at the service desk. I was just inside the main entrance, and that's important for this story. I was waiting for the CSR, the customer service representative, to return with something she had to go check on with the manager for me. So I'm standing there waiting, and in walks Mr. Krusty, an older fellow. He looked like he had money, or at least he wanted people to think he did. He walked straight up to me, and I turned to him just in time for him to bark, "Doorbells!" I knew he wanted to be directed to them, but being a butthole is absolutely no way to get assistance from me. Do this to me and I start screwing with you a bit. I look him in the eye, matched his verbal tone, and barked, "Circular saws!" Stunned pause. I then barked, "Lawn furniture!" Another stunned pause. He then stammers out a confused, "What?" So I explained it to him. That's how this works, right? Shouting random words at someone who obviously doesn't work here in order to win the most obnoxious prick award for the county? He shook his head, muttered, "Ass orifice," and went off to find it himself. I didn't realize that the customer service representative had walked right up as Mr. Krusty first spoke to me. She said that he was a regular customer who always did exactly that. Bark what he wants. Social pleasantries be damned. And she actually thanked me for pushing back on him. Heyo! That's what he needed, an attitude adjustment. And if that doesn't work, what he should do is kick his head off and take a poo down his neck. Talking about being a shithid. If you can't tell what I'm saying, write it out and then read what I said, but in a different way. The way that you would normally read what you just wrote. Also, it ends with E-A-D. Okay, shithid. E-A-D, not E. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.